I had this conversation with okay, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, today, 16-year-old boy comes into my office with his mom. We're having a conversation about re-engaging in school. His attendance isn't great. Kid is bright kid, but on ADHD, ODD, like these things. He's neurodiverse. The system is broken for him, which, by the way, the system stinks. I think North American schooling, the way that it's set up, stinks. And my kid, I'm a product of that system. I work in that system. And I'm like, I look at my own kids. I'm like, oh, do I want my kids in the system? Right.
Yep.
So I question it.
We did a whole episode on it with Matt Beaudreau.
Yeah. Right. And so I looked at this young man and I said, listen, man, like here's the beauty about what we do here. This is your experience. And the system says that you need to get through here to here in 3 years or you're a failure. And it's complete nonsense. Like that is not what this is. This is you being able to have opportunities to make mistakes and grow while we have you in a controlled environment so we can say, whew, wow, good. Because there's catastrophic failure and non-catastrophic failure. And anything that you do here, we can take care of you because I don't want you to make this mistake as a 19-year-old or 18-year-old when you're not in this place and we can't help you through it. And so he came in and we built out this plan. I said, well, what about this? And maybe you don't come to school this day. And maybe you take off early. And he's like, I could see in his eyes, he's like, this. I said, so what are you really into? We're talking about which math class to put him in. What are you really into? He's like, well, man, honestly, I want to get into drop shipping and Amazon. And my ears like perk up because I love the entrepreneurship thing. I was like, man, okay, let's talk about that. So here's what we're going to do. Yeah, you got these classes, but every 3 weeks, you and I are going to connect. And then if you hold up your end of the bargain, you put in the work, you show up, you show me that you're intentional. I'm connected to some guys in a mastermind group who are amazing drop shippers and have amazing Amazon stores. I'll connect you. We'll do a mentorship call, but only if you do the work. He's like, I'm in. He signs a little contract with me on my desk and off we go. Like we need to meet them for what they're interested in and actually see that the world is changing and that the system that we have from the Industrial Revolution is not preparing our youth for the world that we live in. Now, there are qualities and attributes that we want our kids to learn. Hard work is one of them. And you ask, like, how do I model that for my kids? I'm working on this. This is probably a fault of mine, guys, as I work all the time. My brain is always going. You guys said I have multiple things that I'm juggling. And I think that's the hardest thing for me as a dad is to lose sight of the reason that I'm doing those things and let that consume me. And so what I want my kids to learn from me is that it's okay to work hard, but work needs to be intentional. It needs to be planned. It needs to have boundaries. So right now, my daughter says to me when I'm going to tuck her in, this is actually goes back to why I kind of shut down my business Fight the Daba for about a year and a half. It's because I would tuck my kids into bed every night and they'd be like, so do you have a call tonight? Do you have a call tonight? Do you have a call? I'm like, I really don't like this. And I didn't like that feeling. Hiking with my kids through the mountains, sharing our adventures on Instagram. And I got my phone out and I'm doing this. And I realized that what I'm doing as work to inspire other people to get out and be active with their families. I'm out with my family, but I'm on my phone. And so people are being inspired by like, hey, look at all the amazing things you do. But in the moment, I'm not there with my family. I felt so like I was lying, felt like a hypocrite. So I had to shut things down. So work has to have boundaries. Now my kids in the house, we could get into we won't do that today, but like they earn money. I give them money because I'm like, I grew up not having anything and I struggled financially until I was like 35 and figured things out. And I don't want my kids to take that long to figure things out. And how else are they going to learn how to use money and have money work for them unless they have it? So I give them $5 a week and then they earn an additional $5. And then we break it down by percentages into their give jar, their save jar, their spend jar. Yeah. So the responsibility of you need to earn this to be able to do these things. There's some that I'll give you, but here are the responsibilities that you have as being part of this family, that we want to keep our house clean. We want to keep our house safe. We want to take care of our pets. We want to take care of each other. So I don't know if that answers your question, but these are some of the things I think about as a dad.
I love that. And you are definitely paying it forward and giving it back. I want to hear more about this drop shipping story. I hope this kid keeps his end of the bargain. And I want to hear that he was able to get on his call. Yeah.
So I had a family student liaison counselor in my office where we support our kids, like wraparound supports. Hey. And so she's like, she asked me if I was lying. Do you really have kinase? I was like, yes, of course. Like, did you see how excited I was? She's like, that's cool. Did you see him change when you brought that up? I said, yeah, because we needed to find out what like what he's interested
Yeah.
in. So yeah, I got it's already in my calendar, like follow up with so and so, like everything, and
That's
it's a
awesome.
reoccurring thing. So I'm excited to see where it takes them.
I know Brandon has a question, but I want to just really highlight that exact point real quick, because that's such a great lesson for us to adapt to our own kids, is show an interest in what they're interested in, and then figure out a way to kind of reward them, create it, like, and every kid is different, right? But I think a lot of kids are very driven by like, ooh, piece of candy, right? I'm dumbing it down a little bit, but that prize system when you're young, that motivates a lot of people. So use that in your favor, not as manipulation, to help them work towards something they care about. And it might be a skill set that they can use the rest of their life. So what an amazing example for you to use that in a professional sense. And I think we can all take that in our own, I'm kind of talking to myself here. I need to game ways that I can do that with my daughter for things that really matter to her, to help her win,
Yeah.
So I just want to call that out before.
No, it's good. It's interesting to see the difference. Like my daughter's 11 and she gets it. Like she's like, if I want to buy those things, I need to have my own money, because I don't buy stuff for my kids. If we go to the Y and we go for a swim, they want like a Jugo juice, which is like a smoothie thing after. I'm like, well, why are you asking me? You have your own money. Bring your money. Like you can buy it. Like, don't ask me. And so my daughters kind of put that together. But there's like weeks that go by where they only get their $5. They don't make the extra 5, and then they run out of. I'm like, well, yeah, you made a choice. Like, you haven't done these things. Your mom and I had to do them. And then like, oh yeah. So they're learning. My son.
When you get to teach them the value of money that way, it's, the real value of it.